It is game day on Shackelford Road, and a glorious afternoon in Nashville has bloomed a matchup of Bears and Bisons at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex as it's Tuesday afternoon and a tilt between the visiting Central Arkansas Bears and the Bisons of Lipscomb University. Excited to have you with us. I'm John Freeman, joined by Wes Bowling. And Wes, interesting matchup, out of conference midweek game. What can we expect between two programs that do have a history against each other?
We can expect Central Arkansas to challenge Lipscomb in every way that they need to be challenged. They're a physical, direct team that's going to be taking on a Lipscomb squad that just scored 3 goals on the road against ranked Liberty to get their first conference win. So the key today, stay healthy, but also continue to maintain that strong form that they're in right now after scoring 3 on the road, coming back home for 2 before going back to conference play.
The Bisons representatives of the A-Sun and Central Arkansas members of the Sun Belt Conference. Well, Lipscomb in the gray and the Bears in the black shirts with white shorts. Our official today is Amin Hadzik. Drove in from Atlanta. A beautiful day, the beautiful game. A simple match just for the sake of it. No conference stakes, no bids to be won. Just 90 minutes of soccer in the spring sun. And Lipscomb immediately on the attack. And Javon Smith, the freshman. Laying back for Alejandro Lopez. And now the Bisons will expand into their back line at the feet of William Turner, the freshman from Father Ryan High School, just a few miles away from here.
The Irish right down the street. Gorgeous day for soccer today. The wind could affect these long balls, though, and the team is direct as Central Arkansas that loves to launch it forward. We'll have to see how that affects their style in the attack.
We talked to Charles Morrow, the Lipscomb coach, and he said this is a really tough team to play against Central Arkansas. Really compact, disciplined team. He thinks the middle of the pitch, the central part right here, is going to be a battleground for a full 90 minutes.
They're going to put 3 in the back. They're going to send 5 or even 6 at times in the midfield, lone striker.
Here's Tyrese Spicer trying to navigate his way through. And he's manufactured the corner kick for Lipscomb, something that the Bisons have done quite frequently this year. In fact, the Bisons hold a 46-16 advantage in corner kicks this season in all games combined.
Yeah, that's best in the A-Sun. Couple that with the fact that they're starting hot. They scored twice in the first 9 minutes against Liberty. Last time out, they'll be hunting for a goal early in this contest, too.
Congested area right around the goalkeeper, Zach Shaw. In the corner, whipped in short, could not clear the first defender. Lopez. Doherty can hit them from here. Then harmlessly to Shaw, the freshman goalkeeper today from Scottsdale, Arizona. Played in 9 games, just 4 goals against.
His defense in front of him is great. He's not had to make many saves this year, and that includes the fall campaign. This group lost 5 starters off of that fall team, but they've been tough to break down. Unbeaten in their last 4. John, they haven't allowed a goal now in 314 minutes of action.
Is that including the 2.5 that we've played today, or is that coming in?
That is.
Good
little
math.
bit of
Good
rudimentary math. Hey, as we get deeper into the contest, the math gets shadier.
Another corner kick for the Bisons. And the wind is slanting in the direction that they are attacking, and you can hear it in our microphones. It is not an insignificant wind by any means.
No, it's a chance to whip one up. A lob back post could create some tough decisions for the goalkeeper, Shaw.
Contested real estate right in front of the goalkeeper. Cross coming in, important header. Out for Doherty. Could not weave the ball through a forest of legs. And now Central Arkansas, this is what they love to do on the breakout. Here they go. Bears on the move. Lipscomb trying to gather its resources in the back line. And a good switch of play. Cross coming in from Ben Dixon. And turned away ultimately.
Slick one-touch pass, sorry, John, inside the elbow of the box. Well read, though, by the Lipscomb defense, out of their shape to recover after that corner kick.
Bison's on the run. Wood down the far flank. Draws a double team. Reroutes backwards. Patient, sophisticated build-up here for the Bisons, but cut out in the middle of the pitch. And UCA the other way. So far, possession almost exclusively in favor of the home side. And quality defending in the back. And it came from Noah Golden, who's found his way back into Charles Morrow's lineup after being injured for most of the early part of the season.
Great to see him back, and Noah, the A-Sun Defender of the Year after the Liberty win.
Flag is up and offside on the visitors.
That's what they want to do. Central Arkansas, they want to catch you napping, and a possession-based team like Lipscomb has to be careful, has to be disciplined, especially when you consider the degree to which they like to get Noah Golden forward on the right side of the attack, and my goodness, Louis Robinson on the left too. It's an area of vulnerability that Central Arkansas will certainly try to exploit. I think the key is going to be getting Priest and Daugherty back quickly to assist the center backs in defense on those quick breaks.
Ball finally settles at the feet of Noah Golden. And there we go, our first ball out onto Shackelford Road. Do see a stroller coming by. Perhaps we'll return the ball.
Or a chance for a souvenir, hopefully the former.
That would be theft.
Once it's outside the boundaries,
that's a good question.
Ethically, at least, it would be shady, if not legally.
There we go. Oh, hold on. Brakes on the stroller.
Oh.
Gonna get that ball.
Good Samaritan. We don't get many rush hour matches here at Shackelford either. A chance to see a little added auto population too. Yeah, they're waiting now to work it back in, deciding, looks like conferring with their partner about what to do here.
You see immediately this intent for UCA. They're compact, but boy, when they get the ball back, they are ready to fly.
Well, you have to expect them to be saying Oski. It looks like a football team that's intercepted and trying to break to the end zone. They all just bolt the other way quickly when they're in possession.
Sibley towards Spicer. And Spicer on the run. Can he beat his defender there? He can, and Spicer has scored! He'll go alone! The goalkeeper, Sibley, with the assist. An emphatic finish from Tyrese Spicer. In less than 7 minutes into this match, Lipscomb strikes first with a haymaker.
Sleep on the freshman from Trinidad at your own risk. His third goal of the season, and it was purely an individual effort to click it past the center back, play it to himself, and he still had work to do to slip that beneath the goalkeeper's mitts. Zach Shaw doesn't allow many goals. The first goal scored against this team in more than 320 minutes, and it is yet another youngster for this team, and yet again, Tyrese Spicer, and yet another early goal for this Lipscomb team just 7 minutes in.
Just how Michael Sibley drew it up, right? The long ball over the top.
He'll say so at least.
Well, you've got the home run talent of Spicer. Why not send it in his direction? And well, Spicer makes it all happen himself. That's a big goal for Lipscomb because Charles Morrow, we were asking him about the storylines in this game. What are your intentions? And he said, look, we came into Liberty with a losing streak. We lost 3 straight matches. Then we get that big win against a ranked Liberty team. And now it's legitimizing that victory. It is feeling like we've got momentum heading back into the A-Sun. And that's a huge goal if momentum is the target this afternoon, as Lipscomb off and flying in less than 10 minutes.
Well, and you wonder if this club is just looser, so much looser after that win. Morrow said it was a do-or-die match against Liberty, and they did. They won 3-2 in the waning moments. but they had lost 3 straight before that, including being shut out by a team winning their first ever D1 match in Bellarmine. A good Bellarmine team, but still not a team that you want to beat you in division. So the goal today was always just to continue the confidence that they had gained by scoring 3 times against a ranked Liberty team. And early on, I think it's safe to say they're still burning brightly. And
this UCA team is no slouch. A program that's been to the NCAA tournament 2 straight years. Members of the Sun Belt. They did take a nearly 6-hour bus ride to get here. They're unbeaten in 4 straight matches.
And their countering style today belies the fact that they've actually been a lot more incisive in the attack. They've nearly doubled their opponents' shots on goal this year. So once they allow opponents into the final third, they don't allow much. So an aberration perhaps, or maybe it's just that they've not played somebody with quite the individual talent of Tyree Spicer in a while. What an effort individually, one-on-one, to make that happen for this team. And now will it springboard them to something more?
So the shutout clean sheet streak for Central Arkansas ends. Wes, I'll have you do the final tabulations on its
319 minutes.
Without giving up a goal until Tyree Spicer changed that.
It was just a tremendous effort, and I think it continues to illustrate the promise that exists within this program. Certainly for this season, this is a Lipscomb team that still can win out in conference play, win the division, get a bye into the conference tournament, quarterfinal or semifinals, and then it's 2 games away from an NCAA tourney. But longer term too, the aspirations of this team to grow this freshman class, guys like Spicer, striker Javon Smith starting up top today. There's so much promising youth in this program. And Spicer just one token of many that really have emerged.
Bisons have won the ball back, but via a handball on Thomas Priest.
It's a group that's pretty even keel too. We were talking with Coach Morrow before and said it was the bus ride wild back coming back from Lynchburg, Virginia after scoring 3, winning against a ranked Liberty team. He said, we stopped at the gas station, we got a snack and a Coca-Cola or drink of choice, Pepsi, and that was it. Pretty even keel group, business-like group, led by veterans and clear in its aspirations of what it wants to do this season, and early on in this match as well.
One back by Lipscomb. Doherty. Lopez, the Costa Rican. Asking a lot of Robinson. Another handball in the midfield.
Bison's making a change along the back line today. Honore Kalala sitting. Just a small knock, should be fine for conference play and subsequent matches. Scott Golden slides into right center back beside his brother, right fullback.
Oh, what a ball that is by Spicer. Lopez, first time service. Returned back to the Costa Rican, and he'll drive at his defender. Lopez sliced down, and he's waved up by the referee.
Hard contact. It looked like maybe 2 moments of contact. The first, the ball, and the second, they collide after the ball had left. And you can only think the referee was ruling the ball was already sliding out of play, and the contact was inconsequential. Nonetheless, heavy from the captain, Alberto Suarez, coming into it.
So the final result is another corner kick for Lipscomb. No complaints from Lopez.
It looked like a clean win initially, and then the contact perhaps on the follow-through. Nonetheless, Lipscomb having a lot of joy down this left side.
In the corner to be whipped in by Noah Golden. First team All-A Sun member. Denied by Suarez. Robinson. Hoisted in hopefully towards Wood. A leaping effort. And the result is a goal kick.
Like the idea there to try to head that one into the 6 and see what could happen when the ball was in the mixer. 3 early corner kicks for the Bisons, though, as they have bossed possession in the first 12.5 minutes of this contest against a Central Arkansas team that is tough to break down typically. Tyree Spicer proved me wrong on that statement, though, at least in one moment.
Bisons continue relentlessly forward. It's Golden. It's Golden's cross towards Spicer. Having to get ahead on it was Suarez, and then Robinson forcefully concedes the goal kick.
When you're seeing the confidence that Lipscomb has, that's two fullbacks on either end of that play, both in the final third there, as just a couple men were back in defense for the Bisons. It's a group that understands it's off to a bright start and wants to add to that lead. They did so against Liberty. They opened the scoring against the Flames in the 3rd minute up in Lynchburg over the weekend and didn't rest on that. Got a second, and good thing they did. Liberty scored twice to tie it before Lipscomb got the ultimate winner. So the key here, handle success well. Get that insurance tally and buckle things down.
Muscular defending from Golden. Reclaimed by Doherty. Not the easiest ball back to Sibley.
Difficult back pass. But Sibley's an offensive specialist now after his assist, so no problem playing it forward.
Sure, he'll request a few rewinds of the replay in the film session.
He and Spicer both.
Here's Loffer. See if the visitors can get any sort of possession. Oh, it's a tough, tough whistle. And the referee apologizing. Ahmed Hazik thought that the advantage had dissipated.
Boy, it was only beginning, wasn't it? I think they were just about to spring Loffer down that right side, and he could have run all the way to the Lipscomb logo. That's what they want to do. They want to channel that action out to their wings. They're playing in a 3-man back line, 5, sometimes 6 men in midfield, and want to connect and get wide and then send the action back to the middle as they break into the attacking third. So far, though, Lipscomb has foiled any attempt at doing that, and it's been a Central Arkansas team that's been defined by their responses to Lipscomb's possession, the counterattacks that have ensued, rather than them trying to dictate any kind of possession of their own.
Rather suffocating performance so far through 15 minutes.
Yeah, the turf's going to get worn down pretty quickly on this beautiful field right in Lipscomb's half, Lipscomb's attacking half. All the action right now happening on that side of the pitch.
Stabbed to the interior by Ben Dixon. Lopez sent Spicer wide. He's isolated Suarez. Opted for the early delivery. Bisons continue to mash their foot on the gas pedal. Lopez. Lopez splicing through the defense. We went for glory. And that's something that Charles Morrow said. He wanted a little bit more from his 10 position, attacking midfield, and Lopez so far has responded with a bright and purposeful first 16 minutes.
Alejandro is so talented, a bit of a joystick, can move in any direction. There, I think he probably was forced into that individual effort. He was looking to connect either with Spicer on an overlap or maybe back with Robinson, and neither one went quite where he needed. And so I think he just took matters into his own hands with the tough angle shot. Spicer looked like a senior on the goal, looked a little more like a freshman, and trying to coordinate that positioning with his teammate, something he'll learn in no time.
Gorgeous afternoon, mid-70s. We're out here in short sleeves. You declined my offer for sunscreen.
I do appreciate the offer, though. Should have brought the hat. A little warm, but, you know, I don't really tan unless I burn first. So might as well just take one for the team first time out in the sun for an extended amount of time today.
You did, however, elect to visit the concession stand again. Oh, nice from Spicer. Lipscomb on the attack, and Lopez has it cleared away.
No Beeman dogs in stock today. The nachos are top shelf, though.
Awaiting a non-pandemic era where sharing is offered. Here is Wood. That's a crafty turn, and Wood bearing down, sprays it across. And down to claim is Shaw, the goalkeeper.
It's one of the first moments that Lipscomb is threatened from that far side, from the right side of the pitch, and yet, of course, you know Hayes Wood is up to that challenge. Extremely incisive on that right wing. Lipscomb doing a good job gathering numbers forward. I would still like to see them combine a bit more rather than crossing when they get toward that byline. Drag it back, pass it around, mix up Central Arkansas's defensive shape and try to break them down a little more methodically versus just throwing crosses in.
Safety first from Sibley. Goalkeeper Zach Shaw, 4 shutouts. Played for the FC Dallas Academy, along with North Texas SC, which is a team in League One, the 3rd tier of the American soccer pyramid. And they are the best team in it, consistently producing some massive players, talent-wise, that are finding their way, young players that are finding their way to Europe and into MLS squads.
Household names. You think of guys like Weston McKinney playing at Juventus, who grew up in the Dallas system, never actually played for the MLS squad, but grew up through the academy. Reggie Cannon as well.
Wood puts his head down and delivers. Not on his preferred foot.
Yeah, forced onto his left. If he were driving down the right channel and had that right foot exposed, that probably ends very differently. But once again, it shows that Lipscomb's press, the intensity that they're bringing to this match, especially in their attacking half, is paying dividends and creating some difficult, if not impossible, situations for the Bears.
So Lipscomb will play in the A-Sun tournament in April. And on the other end, Central Arkansas, well, their Sun Belt tournament is complete. That finished in the fall. They were bounced out early in that tournament. So any thought of a NCAA tournament bid, that thought vanished in 2020 with a loss in the Sun Belt tournament. Lipscomb on the other end, their options are wide open. And their goal is, of course, to win that A-Sun tournament and make their way as the AQ into the NCAA tournament. So 2 teams with a bit conflicting pathways this afternoon. Central Arkansas looking to refine their program heading into next year when the possibilities open up again of another trip to the NCAA tournament. And Lipscomb on the other end, they are sharpening their tools for the ultimate prize, which would be the AQ from the A-Sun.
And you can get there step by step. The first step is to win the division. Just a 3-team division, 4 6-point matches. Liberty and Bellarmine, the other teams in the group. So you need to win the next 2 matches to close out conference play. You get a bye that way into the conference semifinal, and you're 2 wins away.
Here is Lopez into the penalty area, laid back for Spicer. Robinson continues his run forward. Lopez got his feet tangled, and a little bit of retribution from Robinson, who did not like the previous challenge less than a minute later.
And he's saying that to the referee, Hadzik. He got knocked down after delivering a pass behind the play, and he was pointing at the referee after delivering that return contact, saying, hey, didn't you see what happened back here? Glad to see him back up quickly, though, and trying to overlap. Like the idea from Lopez, just couldn't pull off the back heel.
Robinson from Nottingham in the UK. Most known for his famous goal 2 years ago against UCF in the NCAA tournament. Now finding his position at left back for the Bisons after spending some time as a winger earlier in his career.
Anytime you can bring a forward or an attacking midfielder back and still keep the attacking instincts in that position but have some steely defense, that's a move a coach will make every single time.
Especially if you're coaching Chelsea and Christian Pulisic
yes,
is on your team, our new wing back in the U.S. men's national team.
Precisely, and you see that level of intensity that Robinson brings to the attack. He's always looking for an excuse to get forward, and Lipscomb today has given him plenty so far.
Here's Ole Kjurholz, junior from Norway. Oh, crunching challenge from Kjurholz. Finds its way to Lopez. Sprayed wide for Wood. Drives into the corridor. And Wood, it's a heavy touch. It stays with him. It was an awkward cross, a little off speed, and turned to safety by Cazzola. And out for another Lipscomb corner kick. That is number 4 of the afternoon.
Number 4. I wanted to see Lopez go the other way. They had Smith and Spicer both running in space. A vertical ball to Smith would have been particularly dangerous, but Wood does what Wood does. He makes the most out of a situation where he was under some pressure and wins the corner kick. Hayes Wood has been so clutch for this team. 2 goals, 4 assists this year, and tried to deliver another one there.
Corner kick from the Costa Rican Lopez. Flopped in. Jump ball headed over the frame of goal. Noble attempt from Thomas Priest. And UCA going to make their first substitutions of the afternoon. And first one to step in is Ilya Busayev, senior from Moscow, transfer from Arkansas Fort Smith. And also joining him is Masoud Porsa, freshman from Dallas, Texas, now playing in his 11th match of the season.
Central Arkansas lost 5 starters after that, off that fall team. Busayev, a guy who didn't play in the fall due to injury and is working his way back into the rotation, looking for his first goal still, playing in his 6th contest, and team's 6th contest for the spring season. Porsa averages 30 minutes a match, a strategic reserve coming in along the back line, and they need some reinforcements there, the way Lipscomb's testing them.
Spicer. Oh, this is lovely work to unlock Robinson. Sprayed across to Lopez. That is neat combination work on the flank between Robinson and Spicer, and Lipscomb is humming now, seeking their second, and it feels inevitable.
The Bisons are roaming across every inch of the width of the pitch, and Central Arkansas with that 3-man back line is having a hard time stretching itself to contain it. The wingbacks are getting too far forward, which means it's all about those 3 having to counter 4 Lipscomb attackers in many cases. And the Bisons are having a lot of fun. They're good last gasp defending, the center back well positioned to interrupt Lopez's attempt. Lopez in particular, you can see him sniffing goal, whether as a helper or as the scorer himself. I think he is getting poised to contribute here as we get into the second portion of this first half.
And Spicer whistled for a foul.
Yeah, we talked about Lipscomb's motivation, and it's clear, right? They have their postseason hopes very much within their destiny if they win the A-Sun, and so every match is about refining and getting ready for that conference tournament, for succeeding in conference play. Central Arkansas, on the other hand, they're playing for next year. They're playing a lot of freshmen. They've lost several seniors off the roster. And when you consider that, it's even more impressive that they're 3-1-1 in the spring season. They hadn't allowed a goal in nearly 320 minutes until Lipscomb got on the board today. Play a decent competition and don't have necessarily the same immediacy, sense of urgency, and yet they've been ironclad in defense and had a pretty good spring so far, bringing some new players into the mix.
He said they're playing decent competition. Their next match, 7-time national champion Virginia.
Yeah, they're decent. You might know 1 or 2 things about the Hoos, right?
Proud alum, Wahoo.
And that's what you love, right? There's nothing to lose for this Bears program going to Charlottesville and taking on a great team like that can set a standard for where Central Arkansas would love to even be within shouting distance.
And now the Bears making inroads and finding their first corner kick of the afternoon.
Good combination play there down that right side where they've done most of their work. And you get the feeling right now that if they're going to equalize or contend in this match, it's going to take a set piece. It's going to take a corner kick like this.
How many games have we seen where one team controls the possession, has the majority of chances, and then one set piece is enough to find a breakthrough for the opposition? Corner coming in from the near side, and Lopez a strong header away. Retrieved by Abasso. Was slightly altered, the cross was. Sturdy defending from Thomas Priest. One back by Cazzola. Thumped away by Wood.
Smooth breakout play, Priest combining with Robinson too. One touch knocks out of the area to bring that ball to safety, and Lipscomb has a chance to regain its shape as it bangs it down onto its side of the pitch.
Can Smith turn? It's broken up by Porsa. Loeffler trying to get the better side of Robinson. And onside here. Nope, flag is up.
Late flag.
Porsa had drifted just offside, and he was in on Sibley. And a sign of venom in the fangs of this visiting Bears squad.
And Turner looking a bit caught off guard by that. He came up to try to play the ball and left the man wide open for Golden to have to deal with, who was not in position there. A bit of a lapse as Turner and Kalala have played the vast majority of the minutes this season together in that center back position. And you could see a little break in rhythm there between him and his new partner.
Here's Wood, opts for the early service to Lopez. And turned away by Thomas Priest. So Central Arkansas, members of the Sun Belt, located in Conway, Arkansas, a 6-hour bus ride from just north of Little Rock. The alma mater of one Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen and American Idol Season 8 winner Chris Allen.
Wow. There you go.
One of the
Name one song, Wes.
That's all I got. That's all I got. I think there was something about love. I don't know. Talking to the wrong guy. I'm not a lyricist. I'll sing along with anything in the car. I can't. The recall's not there.
And here is the alma mater of Chris Allen moving forward. Taken back by a combination of midfielders for Lipscomb, and now Spicer in pursuit of Loeffler.
Central Arkansas, notably, soon to be a member of the A-Sun. They'll move over to Lipscomb's league next year. Their second and last season in the 4-member Sun Belt Conference before they move over to be a yearly opponent of Lipscomb.
And they're going to be a tough matchup for not just Lipscomb, but a lot of teams in this league.
It's a tremendous athletic program. The school in Conway, Arkansas made the move up from Division II in 2006. Actually, their second ever win at this level was against Lipscomb right here on this pitch back in '06. 5th time these two teams have played, but they're going to get to know each other a lot better here in the coming years.
Was Turner doing the defending? Does he turn the ball out for a corner kick? Yes, he has. And the Bears again sniffing this set piece.
And they're slowly clawing their way back into this. Not necessarily with any kind of dangerous sustained possession, but by being direct and by forcing these corners.
The size advantage does tilt in favor of the visitors as the corner worked into a good spot. Flicked off an on-rushing head of Suarez. And UCA will build from the far flank. And they got their feet mixed up as the final touch coming from Loeffler, and Lipscomb a chance to fly forward. New sub in, it's Killian Byrne for the Bisons, who'd snuck in during that set piece, the sophomore from West Haven, Connecticut. Does have a goal this year.
6th appearance and right on the cusp of a starting role for this team.
Spicer gliding forward. That's quality defending from Kjorholt, matching Spicer step for step, something that few players in the country can do.
Spicer went down, but it was always going to be a lot to ask to get a whistle there. Still, Lipscomb, it's not a bad strategy to send it over the top to Tyrese. He has the mixture of speed and technical skill to outsmart the vast majority of center backs and right backs in the college game. I've already seen him do it once today in just the 8th minute. I don't blame Lipscomb for going down that avenue more today.
Golden directly towards Byrne. Mix up in the back line, and it's turned out for another Lipscomb corner.
Well, the vertical channels are just there for Lipscomb today. They're really, really stymieing these center backs for Central Arkansas. Just don't have any kind of orientation right now. And it really could and maybe should be 2-0 Lipscomb at this point. We'll see if they can get that insurance tally. They would deserve a 2-goal lead.
Under 13 minutes to go here in this first half. Lipscomb leads off of the early goal from Tyrese Spicer in the 8th minute. Corner pumped in by Golden. Back spinning to the back post. Chased down by Turner. Reclaimed by Burnt. And it falls to Doherty. Kept it down. Could not shape it on target. Nearly the second for the Bisons.
And I think on 2/3 of Lipscomb's corner kicks, it has been Doherty with it just outside the box with the chance to fire on goal. Third time he's tried to do that. This is closest effort yet. Such a weapon from distance, and what a luxury to have a defensive midfielder who can step forward with confidence and put a strike on target, or in this case, just about 1.5 feet wide left.
And Tyrese Spicer cramping for Lipscomb. Be one of those days. These players have just gone through so much. The quarantines, the staying stuck in your dorm, the long bus ride even home from Liberty. And then all of their preseason happening in close to freezing temperatures. And then suddenly you thrust them out into 75 degrees and sunny and say play a full 90-minute game. And cramping certainly to be expected.
Yeah, you said it last match we did together, partner. As the season goes on, this time the weather's getting better instead of worse. A reversal of what usually happens in college soccer when it's played in the fall. And this is the hottest day that we've had, I think, in Nashville this year. I don't know. I had a couple busy work days where I didn't get a chance to get outside, but pretty sure this is about as hot and as humid as it has been. It's in the 70s. It in the sun here feels like 80, so certainly can understand 30-plus minutes in, a guy like Spicer who's been running all over the pitch, tightening up, and glad to see him up and back on the bench now.
And the referee affording the teams a water break. Remember when water breaks were a controversial topic?
Man.
Who would argue against it these days?
No way. The least that we can do for player safety.
And Jake Zeck in for Lipscomb to replace Tyrese Spicer. Last time Jake Zeck kicked a soccer ball in a competitive match, it was kicking the game winner against Liberty in his first appearance of the year. Player who's battled injuries throughout his career. Been told he was quite emotional, rightfully so, after scoring the game winner against Liberty. It's been a long road back for Zeck. Now here he is playing meaningful minutes in his senior season.
Yeah, the fifth-year senior, understandably emotional. It was his first career goal. It comes on the road in what Morrow said was a do-or-die match against a ranked Liberty team who's in conference. That's 5 or 6 strikes in his favor right there, that being just an extremely special moment. And he spoke after the match to the Lipscomb video crew. He said, "I can't even explain what I've been through. I don't even know how to react."
Sibley, long ball with Smith interested. Off his line is Shaw. Yeah, it is a really cool story. Zach, who's now lining up at left wing, just where Tyrese Spicer was. 15 in gray. Another little weapon for Charles Morrow to use. He only played a little over 20 minutes against Liberty.
And Morrow told us pregame, look, this guy's delivered on the practice field for us for 5 years now. We knew he would contribute if he ever got healthy and had the chance.
Oh, what a deluxe build-up from Lipscomb here. Golden's cross parried away. Neat combination work on the far wing. All that was lacking was the final product. In another corner, and Noah Golden over to take it.
Overlaps have been so effective, so aggressive, and there he had once again 2 men, Smith and Zeck, both wide open if he'd gotten the cross right. Credit to Kjorholt, though, for the last-minute clearance.
No one home on the back post. Lipscomb fortunate to get a header from one of the Bears. And another player down.
Alberto Suarez.
That's a tough loss for UCA if he can't go. And his teammates giving the universal substitution sign, rolling their hands around each other and Well, he's done a nice job of policing what is a pacey Lipscomb front three. And he's removed the captain's armband. So perhaps he knows that his race today has finished.
He scored 5 of this, or rather 4 of this team's last 9 goals.
As a center back.
Yeah. Lots of set pieces, some counterattacks when they were, out of their shape. Named the captain heading into the spring after the mantle was passed to him from the team's leading scorer in the fall, and Suarez has earned that mantle. 5 goals to lead the team. The Spaniard has been every bit the captain that Coach Ross Duncan would want, and we wish him the absolute best in a quick return to action.
So Ole Kjørholt takes over as the acting captain. Armband around his arm. Ball coming in towards him. It's a cool service from Robinson, asking a lot of the defense. And we'll restart from the far side with the throw. Under 10 minutes to go now, Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Bison's lead after the early goal from Tyrese Spicer. And Lipscomb bringing in Austin Marfil and also Seth Highfield. Highfield's only played 56 total minutes, 4 games for Highfield. Marfil, much more regular contributor, has played in every single game this season.
And scored 8 minutes into his debut. A luxury to be able to rotate a little more heavily in non-conference action than Charles Morrow probably would in conference play, to get guys a run, to rest some key contributors, and to explore what guys can do out there. I mean, that's what these matches are for.
Busayev. And out for a Lipscomb throw. Busayev. One back by Marfil. Long ball seeking Zek. Could not download it. Well, not the most congruent game by any means. Not a whole lot of possession for either squad. I'd say Lipscomb has been the better side, a deserved lead, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And I think even a multi-goal lead would be fair. I think Central Arkansas is ever dangerous on the counterattack, but when they're in possession, they just don't look like they necessarily have a cohesive plan of attack. They would rather catch you napping along the back line on the break. And credit Lipscomb for that as well. I mean, they're pressing so intensely, it's making the game a little choppy in midfield. But I think it's forcing the kinds of mistakes that are turning into Lipscomb chances. And Tyrese Spicer capitalized on a misread in the wind and was able to score early to give Lipscomb what it needs. But I'll tell you what, taking the ball onto your foot on a long ball forward in this wind is like hitting a baseball with a toothpick. It's just hard. It is a swirling breeze making that really tough.
Here's Marfil finding inroads. Rolled back for Robinson, scouting his options. It's a well-worked ball towards Zek. Falling as far as Doherty, who is a specialist in those type of shots. He loves to crash in on the rebounds. And he continues to hone his sights this afternoon.
He's going to hit one of those here soon. In fact, against Bellarmine, he should have scored, and it has nothing to do with him. He placed one upper 90. It was 2 feet away, and the Bellarmine keeper lunged up and made just a highlight-worthy save, an incredible play. Would have given Lipscomb the lead and probably the win as they were scored on late. One of those is going to fall for him, and he definitely has the appetite for it.
Climbing the back was Doherty. That last touch, a Lipscomb player, it did. Just grazing the foot of Noah Golden. And via the use of diagonal distribution, UCA able to nick a corner kick off of the Bisons for a chance back into this match off a set piece. Here it comes in. Did that touch a hand? Shot could not get through traffic. And UCA reloads. Body's on the floor. And Zach able to clear. Bears on the attack. Finding their way through off the side net. And maneuvering through was Ruben Gill, freshman from Leicester, England. Leicester City U18 experience. Long way from Leicester City is Gill, who now applies his trade in Conway, Arkansas.
Change of culture, I would imagine. The best attacking action so far today from Central Arkansas in that minute-and-a-half flourish that started with winning of a somewhat cheap but fair corner kick. Lipscomb starting to sow some seeds of regret here. They're putting themselves in position to concede an undeserved equalizer, and you need to be careful. The Central Arkansas team has the quality to make them pay. I think the difference is that Central Arkansas has coaxed its wingbacks into the attack a little bit. They're able to venture forward, got a little more space, and that's spreading the width of the pitch and challenging Lipscomb horizontally. Whereas early in this match, Lipscomb's press was so intense in midfield, the wingbacks had to sit back and guard against Lipscomb's break, and it still didn't work because Lipscomb scored down the flank.
Bison's turning with Byrne. Sweetly sprayed wide for Zach, who loves to attack defenders. And he does so here. Gains the inline. And his service parried out for a Lipscomb corner.
Yet another corner. That's now 7 for the Bisons, as they will pad their ASUN lead in that category. In most of these, they've tried to send near post, and on a couple of occasions here recently from this far flag, the wind has carried the ball far post. We'll see if they make an adjustment here with 4 minutes left in the half.
Scott Golden commanding the box for Lipscomb. He lines up right at the penalty spot. Oh, is this something off the training ground? Doherty back post. Turner trying to just keep the ball in bounds and failed to do so. It was a good idea. It got the look they wanted. The execution leaving a little bit desired.
But we've talked about Doherty's accuracy from distance in shooting, and that certainly applies to crossing and passing as well. So I like applying that ability, but not a bad effort to look for Turner on the back post, especially as tall as he is. It didn't quite come off, but I like that, that design off the training ground.
Under 3 minutes to go now. The Bisons looking for their 5th win of the year. Would match their record from last year. 5 wins last year for Charles Morrow's squad. An uncharacteristic 5-9-2 record. And still more games to be played, obviously, especially in the ASUN. Gill able to turn. And turning and running right at the defense is Porsa. And Porsa has scored. A breakdown at the back. And UCA has equalized. Masoud Porsa, the substitute. And with less than 2 minutes to go in the half, we are equaling Green Hills.
Porsa's first goal this season, first career goal for the freshman. Big moment for him and a regrettable moment for the Lipscomb defense. Playing without Honore Kalala, rotating things around and making some changes in the back. And you can see there the lack of chemistry showed. A breakdown in midfield, center backs weren't there to cover. That was always going to be how the Bears were going to need to equalize and how they will need to win this match. By going direct, by catching Lipscomb off guard, and that's exactly what they did there in the waning moments of this first half.
And it was such a simple buildup for UCA. And very easy to pick the lock from a Lipscomb team that has been stubborn and defiant and organized throughout this match. A rare sight to see a player breaking in on goal with a 40-yard run-up.
Well, playing this Central Arkansas team is like being in a sword fight. They're just going to jab at you. They're not going to be too fancy. They're going to just jab away, and you've got to try to avoid each of those stabs, and eventually they're going to find a way to get through the armor. Lipscomb's been solid, but here in the past few minutes, as they've gotten a little more worn out physically and mentally, you've seen Central Arkansas increase its chances, not by doing anything ornate. We're not watching Barcelona out here, but by being straightforward. And sometimes that can get you just as much success as stringing together 20 passes and scoring a golazo at the end.
So Porsa gets the goal. He does go to the sideline after his effort. And can UCA go into the break with a lead here? 1:15 to go in this half. Game tied at 1. And now the visitors springing to life. You can see their confidence picking up in every step. And there's a heavy touch. That leads to a Lipscomb throw. So Porsa gets the goal. Freshman, as you said, his first career goal. Plano East High School from Dallas, Texas. Same high school as Lance Armstrong.
And, you know, the defender, listed as a defender, scores as Central Arkansas is playing without its captain and leading defender and leading scorer, Alberto Suarez. So a moment of resiliency for this Bears team. Down a goal, down its captain, coming up big late in the first half. And if you're Lipscomb now, these final 20 seconds, just cherish the ball, hold on to it, and get to the locker room.
Just seconds remaining now in this half. A half where Lipscomb outshot the opposition 7-3. And the equalizing goal from Masoud Porsa brings us level. For a while, Lipscomb was cruising, and then at the end, an iceberg on a sunny day. They run right into it, and we are level at 1 goal apiece. The equalizer from Masoud Porsa canceling out the 7th minute strike from Tyree Spicer. And after 45 minutes of cross-conference soccer, we are back to where we began. Equal at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. We'll put our headsets down, we'll take a break, and we'll talk to you in about 15 or so minutes as we get ready for the second half. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us. So back at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex, teams back out onto the field as we get ready for the second half. Lipscomb and Central Arkansas, a goal apiece. The first one was scored by Tyree Spicer of Lipscomb, and that was canceled out by Masood Porsa of Central Arkansas. That brought us level into the dressing rooms, and now both teams ready to partake in a second half of this non-conference battle on this glorious Tuesday afternoon. John Freeman, Wes Bowling, and Wes, it was an interesting finish to the half. UCA equalizing after Lipscomb had largely been the better side in that first 45 minutes, but nevertheless we find ourselves equal and a whole game to play for.
The Bisons were better and will seek to be better again here in the second half. 7-3 in the shot tally, 7 corner kicks in the first half as well, and yet they find themselves even because Central Arkansas did what the Bears like to do. They countered and caught Lipscomb napping with a couple minutes left. So now we'll see if Lipscomb's possession-based attack can find the footing again and get the breakthrough, or if it's Central Arkansas that's going to be able to seize the momentum that it established in the last 10 to 15 minutes of that half.
Lipscomb looking to find momentum after dispatching on the road ranked Liberty, extinguishing the flames with an overtime goal by Jake Zeck. Now can they carry over their success onto their home pitch? Here's Wood in a foot race, one-on-one against Lawfer. Woods crosses a good one towards Lopez, whose shot was weakened by the covering defender in Kjorholtz.
And that's the second or third time today that Oleg Kjorholt has been in position at the last moment to stymie a shot from Lopez. Tremendous play by Wood to get loose on the flank against the left part of that central defense. Plenty of room to put in the cross, an accurate cross, and Lopez has to be just a little bit frustrated. Leads the team in shots now with 3, and yet finds the target only by a hair as that one trickled into the keeper's arms.
And Kjorholt now wears that captain's armband, replacing Alberto Suarez, who did captain the team to start the match before limping off roughly halfway through that first half, and we understand that he most likely will not return in this match.
The leading scorer for this group, the best defender for this group, although Kjorholt could lay claim to that title as well. He's played every minute for the team, fall and spring.
And Kjorholt, the Norwegian, strolls into the penalty area as a set piece for the visitors. 2 minutes in to this second half. It's curled in towards Kjorholtz. It was necessary defending by Thomas Priest.
Priest, not a glamorous player, gives you exactly what you want out of a defensive midfielder. Sturdy and reliable, well positioned there up against Kjorholt, who had the height advantage on him.
Priest from Signal Mountain, Tennessee.
McCauley.
Overlooks what, Chattanooga?
Yep. Off of Highway 27, beautiful area just outside of Chattanooga.
Here comes the corner kick. Wood was first to it, and now Lipscomb a chance to fly, and they've got numbers with Doherty. Has Smith to his right, Jake Zeck to his left, lofting for Zeck, and well, the chance dies with the error from Doherty in a rare fast break against a disciplined Bears team.
And a rare mishit by Doherty, who has such a precise right foot. I think he would have done better to go the near route toward Javon Smith on his overlap in the 3-on-2 situation, and then try to find a spot far post to maybe end up with the go-ahead goal. Instead, he tried the lower percentage ball to Jake Zeck, the hero last match with the winner against Liberty, but was never going to be in a position to score based on that service.
Wes, you did not sample the halftime concessions? Content with your pregame selections?
I was very content with the nachos. They were filling, they were appropriately salty, and the lack of hot dogs today really just dampened my spirits just enough that I didn't make the return trip. Service was delivered with a smile as always, though, and tremendous culinary experience here at Lipscomb in addition to a great sports spectacle.
So 4.5 stars on the Yelp review.
I'll give it 5 today. Those nachos were solid.
Long throw from Kjorholtz. Flicked on to a dangerous area, but no Bear there to apply a finishing touch.
with all due respect to this Central Arkansas program, which is growing and which has promise as it gets set to enter the A-Sun, I think if Lipscomb does lose or suffer a draw today, it will feel cheap. It just feels like Lipscomb has been on the front foot, could likely continue to be on the front foot against a Central Arkansas team that honestly doesn't mind making you feel that way. They will sit back, they will pick their moments as they did late in that first half, and it's just a frustrating kind of team to play. Physical, direct, and you never really feel like you have the stranglehold on them.
Now this game will be guided by the invisible hand of trying to avoid a draw. A draw does neither of these teams any good.
No, it wears you out. It gets you to overtime for up to 20 minutes of additional soccer.
And there's no conference standings.
Right.
There's no at-large bid that either of these teams are vying for. So what's the point to come and play this match if neither team is looking to win it? So as we do get closer, we might see some more chances taken by either of these teams trying to find a way in front. A very compact UCA team that's looking brighter here in this second half already in our limited sample size of the first 5 minutes of it.
Trying to make me regret my forecast just for a minute ago that the Lipscomb would potentially have the front foot moving forward, as they have looked a little more confident on the ball ever since, in fact, even a little bit before equalizing.
Certainly agree with that. And a long throw coming from Cure-Holt. The run up from Shackelford Road. Flicked off the head of Robinson and slashed away by Thomas Priest. Bears on the front foot here in this second half. Lopez. See if the Bisons can string together a constellation of passes. It's a high press from the visitors. Really neatly done by Priest. And even better by Robinson. Robinson's service towards Wood. Flag is up on Wood. Could not hold his run. Trying to dangle right around the invisible line. And the flag eventually up on Wood, and the chance diminishes.
Love the vision from Robinson, and you could see that mixture of deflation and hope from Wood. Deflation because he knew he was offside, but just that little tingle of hope that maybe the referee didn't spot it, but the assistant was wise to it, as this group has done a good job today on the whistle.
One back by a combination of Robinson and Zek. Oh, it's a careless clearance, and now Smith a chance to move forward. And quality defensive work done by the visitors. And retreating back to make that play. Looked like it was Eduardo Mercy, the Italian from the Chievo Academy,
And
team in Syria.
I will say merci to you for spotting Mercy, because I was looking too at that font, a bit small. Hard to tell.
Not the easiest on the announcers today. Black jerseys with very small italicized purple numbers.
Sometimes aesthetics are the enemy of a soccer broadcaster. These look good. They're good-looking kits. They're just a little tough to decipher.
Easy to spot Cure-Holt. Blonde hair, captain's armband. He throws the ball in. One back by Lopez. Getting yanked on. Play continues. Until now. And, well, that slows up the counter. And, well, shouldn't this be a yellow card?
Has to be. The professional foul ×2. Surely has to be a booking.
And I think the referee was really just waiting for confirmation on the player for UCA. He was conferring with his linesman. And it is on Gill, who sees the yellow card raised in his face. Proper refereeing.
Yeah, maybe the kits are giving him a bit of a hard time too. Maybe it took him a second to spot the number on the player. Definitely the right call. Really, even that first tug back would have been worthy, but then the second time reaching across the body and tugging the opposite arm all day long. And still, you like the discipline by Hadzik to play the advantage and see what could become of that attack before.
In the end, it's a simple transaction. Gill knew what he wanted and was willing to give up the yellow card.
Yep, savvy player, knew what he was doing.
Midfield becoming a more combative area of the pitch as Doherty slow to get up. One of the many unheralded cogs on this Lipscomb team, a player, Doherty, that blew away the fitness test that the team has, the beep test, which you basically just run till exhaustion, and the point of the test that you finally cannot go any further, that is your score, and Doherty was the last man left. Still waiting on your first attempt at the beep test.
First and last.
Thankfully, that's not required of the broadcast crew. I mean, this last couple minutes has not been for the faint of heart.
It's fitting that the most ferocious battles are now being fought in the area where this match is probably going to be won, and that's in midfield. Neither team has shown incredible precision in the final third, with the exception of a great move by Tyree Spicer on the break. It's going to be the team that can control and send forward into the final third from midfield and create direct chances. I think that's going to be the team to win it. So neither team is obviously very willing to give any quarter, to give any ground in that middle half of the middle portion of the field.
And Central Arkansas continues to stay married to this concept of a long throw-in. Does Curehole have enough lift? In this case, he does. Header was required by Lipscomb, and it came from Priest. Further away by Scott Golden. And a shot well over, never bothering Sibley. That was get you his number in just a moment. There we go. I believe that is Kimishima.
I think you're right. Yeah, you know, I like the idea of the long throws, especially with the wind at the back. When this Central Arkansas team hits the training ground, it becomes part of the Conway, Arkansas skyline. So many tall players on this team. Send it in to the big physical guys in the 18 and see what you can make happen, and it becomes a de facto set piece for you.
Here's Kimishima slashing the ball towards UCA's lone goal scorer. And Porsa could not control. He is the outlet in this compact Bears squad. Here's Kimishima navigating past Lopez. Oh, as he flopped Porsa in, and he's offside. Porsa really starting to bother that back line of Lipscomb coming in off of the bench. He has been the spark that this team needed.
And it's a difficult ask for Scott Golden. I mean, a guy who has pedigree, right? ASUN all-freshman team in 2018. He's played considerable minutes for this program, and yet coming in for Kalala, who's played every minute to this point, it's just a tough ask for him to suddenly have magical chemistry with Turner, the freshman. They've been crossed up a few times today.
Another player down. Play continues, though, with Zek. Robinson's cross, drawing the goalkeeper off his line, and Shaw claims. And now we can get attention towards the injured player. It looks like another cramp, and this is Eduardo Mercy, the Italian again. And he is applying a self-massage on his calf. Second time today we've seen a player go down with cramps.
It's warm and humid out here, and it really has to be a conditioning challenge for these players who are used to playing in progressively colder temperatures each season. Now, obviously, they play club, and they're not just playing, you know, college ball. They have spring scrimmage seasons and all of that. Nonetheless, the demand that is being placed on these players in a shortened spring season, combined with the most humid day of the year, at least here in Nashville, has created some challenges, and we certainly hope that the Italian's able to get back in quickly.
Now Lipscomb wants to avoid this game being close down the stretch. The reason being, they have not been tremendous at games later in them. Yes, they did just score a game-winning goal against Liberty on the road, but twice this season the Bisons have given up game-winning goals after the 80th minute. Can they surge ahead here, though, with Smith? Rolled back for Zek. Contemplating a delivery. Combining with Doherty. Off to diagonally to Golden. Now the Bisons fan out and set up their formation. Route one from Sibley. Denied by Kjorholtz. Doherty. Noah Golden. Priest. It's a bad place to lose the ball, and Gill has sent Porsa down the left side. Kimishima arriving in support. The ball coming in towards Gill. Penalty. Bundled over by Robinson. And UCA a chance to go ahead at the spot.
And it was absolutely the right call. The attacker stopped in front of Robinson. It wasn't like he had intent to push the guy down, but he kept going right into the back of the attacking player, and that was always going to have to be the call.
It is no complaints from Robinson. It is the first penalty given up by Lipscomb on this field this year, and Kimishima to take the penalty. Has not scored this year. To send the Bears in front. Saved by Sibley. Did not produce a rebound either, and now sends Lipscomb the other way. Zek. Numbers flooding forward. Doherty. Wide for Wood. Golden joining in support. Connects with Golden. Chance to pepper in the cross. Sprays it to Doherty! From nearly giving up a goal on one end to blasting it through on the other. The Bisons bite back, and Doherty slots it home. Lipscomb leads 2-1.
And in the span of 20 short seconds, the Bisons went from the back foot to taking out the pin to write their name on this match. They just took ownership of this contest. A PK save by Sibley on one end that looked like he owned that PK scenario from the moment Kimishima stepped to the spot. And as soon as Sibley saved it, no time to celebrate. Immediately fanned it out down the left flank. And what have we said all match? What have we said all season? Doherty's going to be due for one of those from right in the middle of the pitch, this time inside the box. Made no mistake. And the keeper, Shaw, absolutely no chance at stopping that.
Well, rarely do you get a chance at a counterattack off of a penalty kick save. Not something you typically practice. Nevertheless, the Bisons found numbers flooding forward, and it was an expertly crafted counterattack using the entire width of the pitch.
How many college sophomore players who've just made a PK save on the ground would be content to sit up there, to pump their fist, to high-five a teammate, and to take their time getting it back into play? Tremendous awareness of the game by Sibley to see what was in front of him, fan it out to his left side, and set things loose from there.
Now you can get kind of the hockey assist in college soccer if you make the pass before the primary assist. I don't think Sibley will get credit for that. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 passes behind, but he already does have an assist today.
Yeah, and he can take moral credit for that, if not official credit. He will, in the film room, get a bunch of thumbs ups from the staff and from his teammates for what he did to launch that attack, even if the stat sheet doesn't list him.
And now the Bisons smell blood in the water. Wood. He ends up fouling Laufer. Wes, rarely do you get a point in a soccer match where you go from nearly being behind to being ahead. It almost feels like if you watch the Champions League and you see a road goal in those two-legged knockout rounds, almost feels like that. Such a drastic switch in the complexion of the match.
Yeah, a 2-goal swing, quite literally. If you concede the penalty kick there, you're down 2-1 against a team, and it would have felt like more than a 2-goal swing too, because the Central Arkansas team is pretty organized in defense, and up 2-1, they probably would have started to bunker in and be really tough to break down. It's a group that had only allowed 3 goals this spring. And so to go up 2-1 instead, now Lipscomb has the chance to make it more. I don't think the Bisons are going to be content to put 11 men, 10 men behind the ball the rest of this match. I think they want to find the insurance because they know what Central Arkansas can do on the counterattack. What a swing of momentum, though, for this club.
And you do feel for Kimishima. The penalty was quite pedestrian.
That's a guy who's probably desperate to get on the score sheet. 3rd on this team in shots. He's started 12 games now this year. Hasn't been involved in a goal. Hasn't contributed an assist. And you know he wanted that so badly. But you can almost see the earnestness in him. You didn't see a lot of confidence with that take. Pretty straightforward. Credit Sibley for the save, but it was probably not the hardest PK save he will have made in his career.
And I'm not sure Sibley even guessed. I do feel like Sibley's save was reactionary.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It was spry, but
A clairvoyant save followed by clairvoyant distribution.
yeah.
Knew exactly where the pieces were placed on the board.
And everybody was in position. Those pieces were all there.
So is there an answer from a Central Arkansas team that is 6-2-2 overall, 2-2-1 on the road? Already in their 10th game of the spring. And Gill slipping through a teammate. Sibley patrolling. Look out west.
Got it.
Just missed us.
Just getting my head ready to lower that in and see if I could put some force on it, send it into the 3rd row where there are some empty seats.
Here is Zek. Wonderfully curled ball towards Lopez, who's on his horse. Oh, what great work that is by Lopez to win the ball back. Such a motor on the Costa Rican. And now Zek. Lipscomb trying to work out of a phone booth. And finally, the ball parries out to the Bears. A chance for them to fly forward. Into space. Trotting is Jose Carlos Gonzalez. And a slight tug from Azcona, knocking a Bison off balance.
And if you're Lipscomb, you've got to be disciplined. It would be very tempting to get big eyes after that beautiful break and try to get a 3rd goal. And honestly, I think Lipscomb might need that as quickly as Central can counter and exploit gaps in your defense on the break. But for that reason, you've got to be careful. You can't commit numbers forward so aggressively that you've left yourself vulnerable in the back end when you've had a couple of pretty dangerous lapses between your center backs in this match.
And Wood whistled for the foul.
One bit of good news, partner. Lipscomb, when scoring 2 or more this year, 4-0-0. They had not won a match when scoring 0 or 1. So
How
they've
about
hit
that?
that magic number. Obviously hadn't won when scoring 0. That probably was obvious, but 1 goal has not been enough for them this season. It wasn't enough for them today because they gave up the equalizer in the 43rd, but 2 might just do it for them if they can keep the foot down.
Owen Wood has spliced his defender, and that's a hefty challenge from Laufer. And he could be in more trouble here. Taking the brunt of the challenge was Noah Golden. And Laufer may face additional discipline. Or will he?
That felt borderline to me. I would have given it. It was a physical, reckless challenge, but also it interrupted a promising Lipscomb attack. I would have given that. I can understand not and giving a firm conversation instead, though. I think that's the kind of game that Hadzik has had. He'd rather have the conversation than put somebody in the book if he can help it.
Very cool referee. Rarely flustered. A nice demeanor to him. Really put a nice tone on his officiating in this match.
Seems very instructive and collaborative.
Never in a hurry, for sure. And here is the free kick from either Golden or Lopez. Lopez laid off for Golden, squared back in front and nearly turned in as an own goal.
I like that ball. Put the defenders in a nearly impossible position. If they were not so close to that near post, if they were a little toward the middle of the six, that would have been knotted into the goal. Looking for Priest, but there were two defenders in the way in an awkward spot.
Corner kick number 8 of the afternoon for the Bisons. Hoisted in by Lopez. Arriving back post was Turner. Cleared off the line by one of the Bears who was standing on it. Lipscomb still in business. And Wood whistled for the foul. And a quick restart denied for Laufer.
That goal's coming from Turner. They love that back post lob for him, and he's 6 foot, but he plays bigger than that because he can rise to the ball. He's got 3 shots on goal from his center back spot, now 8 shots this season. One of these is eventually going to sneak its way past the keeper. I thought that might be the moment for the freshman.
Been a while since we've seen a run of play without a whistle. Game that Lipscomb, wow, how about this stat? Lipscomb 17 fouls. UCA was 6.
And it was 9-1 at halftime, so they're playing somewhat even this half after just a massive discrepancy in the first.
Some would argue that's the way to play soccer against a counter-attacking team.
Slow them down.
Pep Guardiola's specialized in that. Attack and attack, attack. If you turn the ball over, just foul.
Yep. Can't get it back within a second. Just tug on a jersey or try to edge somebody off the ball physically. It's not the most attractive way to play always, but it can be effective, pragmatic.
And it makes you relatively immune from counterattacks.
Well, and Lipscomb doesn't have anybody in the book today, so they can afford to be aggressive down the stretch without worrying about a second yellow.
Ball going to make it to Shackelford Road? Nope. Denied by the far side structure.
Looked promising, but the wind caught it, I think. Not quite enough of a line drive. It almost looked like that ball crossed the byline for a corner kick for Lipscomb. Good job by Shaw to interrupt it before it could do so.
Here is Smith in tight quarters. Goal kick. I've called several years of Lipscomb soccer, spread out over half a decade. I've never seen a car hit by a stray ball. Now, I have seen cars stop to return a ball. Some Southern hospitality. But yet to see any car hit on its way.
That's a bit surprising. Shackelford is a pretty busy
It sure
artery.
is. And we are right in drive time in Nashville. And if you've ever experienced that, it is something.
You even have city buses going through. I mean, surely that's a prime target, right?
And the stadium is a stop. It's going to turn right.
Double the chances. You can get a quick assault on goal, and you know, if you happen to miss and you hit the bus, you should get credit for what, half a goal?
Here is Wood, a burst of speed, carrying through. It stays with Wood. Necessary defending, and play continues as a Bear is down, trying to stretch out his calf. Laufer Touchdown by Lopez.
The first inhibition that Hayes Wood displays will be his first. Like, it's just so fun to watch him charge down the pitch. He, you know, is not always going to be married to being in a particular channel, particular position. He's going to be an opportunist, and he has no fear when he is in possession. Tried to play that one to himself and almost created a really good chance in the final.
I'm going to put you on the spot, and I don't need an immediate answer, but a player that Hayes Wood resembles, kind of a household name. I don't have one in mind. I'm asking you. Big, strong player. He's got good footwork. It's not flashy by any means, but he also has a knack for production. A player that has really found his way into the stat sheet frequently this season. Just one of those guys that makes things happen.
Yeah, you know, a guy that I would compare him to, maybe not quite as big as Hayes Wood, but a Joe Cole type down the wing, who's physical, fearless, and not afraid to just totally embarrass you as a defender. Think back to the '06 World Cup for England and what he was able to do.
Now, can UCA find a way back into this match? And they will be denied a corner kick here. It's an unfortunate deflection off of Cazzola. So under 18 minutes to go here. After the Lipscomb goal, we have barely seen much of a response from Central Arkansas. So they search for the equalizer after being inches away from going ahead.
Oh, it was like they conceded 2 goals in a matter of 20 seconds.
They have also brought in Dylan Rice, a freshman from Russellville, Arkansas. And now he is one of the forwards up high, along with Kimishima. And they have also brought back in Matthias Bendixson, who started the match. Was substituted out in the first half, and we have not seen him since. So Bears perhaps finding their urgency here with under 20 minutes to go. And another foul going on Lipscomb. 20 fouls.
And they'll concede 10 more before they concede a direct attack on goal like Central Arkansas is capable of. The problem is, of course, you do that in your own end, and now they're going to have a direct opportunity to sky one.
From the Bears. Cut out by Doherty, who, as it stands, has the game-winning goal. Didn't hit the car.
Almost.
I know what you were thinking.
I was waiting for it.
Dangerous on a stoplight while the game's going on.
That's deep into the front yard across the street, too. That was quite a bullet.
And the long throw coming from Kjorholtz. Oh, it skipped along, and it falls to Gill. Partially cleared. Gill reloads. Runs into a tandem of Golden brothers. And earns the throw. And Kjorholt will again attempt to send this ball in using his arms. Good backspinning ball met by Noah Golden. Heads go up again. And a big collision, bodies all over the place. And a foul going on UCA. And that'll bail Lipscomb out and a chance for them to breathe with just a little over 15 minutes to go now. Looking for what would be their 5th win of the year if they can hold on.
If I'm an opposing attacker and I want breathing room, I'm not looking the direction of Doherty or Priest. Those 2 defensive midfielders are so steely in situations like this. They're the ones committing a lot of these fouls, creating the contact, closing up the gaps, even in their own penalty area. And there, of course, it was the positioning of Doherty that was able to draw the foul. I just really like the mix of veterans and newcomers on this team. You got a sophomore, 3rd-year sophomore, and a junior in central defensive midfield, fueling the activity of a couple of freshmen in that attacking unit. Just the right hybrid that you want to make a run toward a conference championship as those freshmen gain that experience and become de facto sophomores. But your backbone needs to be secure, and that's where Lipscomb has so many of these veteran players.
Lipscomb, a school of a little over 4,000. Central Arkansas enrollment of nearly 12,000. It's the primary source of teachers in the state of Arkansas. Lopez double clutch, was thinking about a bicycle kick and made the smart decision to use gravity in his favor. Now here is Robinson, sending wide for Zek, and the connection fractured.
So Central Arkansas, the primary source of teachers, and Scottie Pippins.
And it's a short shift for Rice, Dylan Rice, who takes a few minutes to spell Masood Porsa, who's back in and now on the ball for Central Arkansas. And play was allowed to continue momentarily.
Holt and Lopez coming together, and a stern word from the referee to Lopez as he had briefly played advantage to see what developed. And every chance that Central Arkansas is going to get now on a foul in midfield, it's going to try to launch one in.
Bears send numbers forward. 8 players lurking in the penalty area. Greeted by Golden. Zola, Kimishima. His cross towards Holt, the captain. Partially cleared by Lopez. Doesn't want to foul. Zorla. Taken back by Doherty. Distribution towards Smith. The tireless Kimishima. Another set piece for the Bears. 22 fouls on Lipscomb.
This game will not go into the archives as an all-time aesthetically pleasing contest. Doesn't matter to Lipscomb if they can come out on top on the scoreboard, though. Just really choppy, really physical in midfield.
It feels like one of those basketball games where there's 70 free throws.
It does. It does, except often the referee's made himself the show when that happens. That's not been the case today.
Comes the cross from Abasso. Holt leaping off of his Norwegian head. Really hard to get back into the game if you're UCA, if you just can't string passes together. And well, for now, I really haven't been able to build any sort of congruent play in the midfield and link up with their forwards. And what has been a herky-jerky game at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex.
No, for American football fans, it's almost like when a team like the Naval Academy gets down in a football game and they're trying to run themselves back into the game. It's not a team that's meant to be down, right? It's a team that likes to counter. It likes to take the back foot and then shock you by being direct. It's not one that's terribly comfortable in possession.
Marfell running on. Holt did the necessary duties on the defense.
You know, they get on the ball and it's like, who, us? Like, we're supposed to have this. And it's not knocking the team. It's not what they're built to do. And you see a missed connection there as well. They're not confident and calm on the ball. They'd much rather let you dictate and then they surprise you. That's how they scored their only goal of the match.
Wood down the line, stayed in play. Under 11 minutes to go now. Toss back in towards Priest. Robinson. Now is there a chance forward? Kimishima with Porsa in front of him. Finds its way to Sibley.
When Central Arkansas has done its best work, it's been using the speed of Porsa to open things up. And there he was once again in a favorable attacking position. They just couldn't connect with him. Kimishima couldn't thread the needle there. Priest falling down in midfield created a tough situation.
Oh, it's a poor turnover, and Smith bearing down. Smith across the frame of goal. It falls out to Doherty and cleared away, and now UCA a chance to fly forward. It's a 2-on-3 if they hurry. Kimishima, Lipscomb trying to recover. And now the visitors a chance from the left side in Kimishima. Chased down by Golden and could not route his way around the German.
strong recovery by the Bisons, but a reminder of what Central Arkansas can do. Again, this is where they like to live. They like to live on the back foot and spring the counters. And Lipscomb can't afford to let its eyes get too big in pursuit of that insurance tally with just under 10 minutes to go. They need to start thinking about putting more men behind the ball and forcing Central Arkansas to come up with some ideas they've yet to find.
Dangling throw in from Kjorholtz towards the back post. Gill in pursuit, and he's won the foot race. It's off of a Bison corner kick to UCA. And the Bears going to make a substitution.
Checking in for the Bisons, number 26, Killian Byrne, replacing number 11, Alejandro Lopez.
And Killian Byrne in for Lipscomb. We'll get you the new visiting player in just a moment.
It's like it's Mercy making his way back in.
Bears on the corner kick.
So the Bears with the corner, less than 10 minutes to go. It was Byrne who was first to it. And Byrne again. Now Smith in a foot race. And the ball does not stay in play. And UCA just trying to find maybe one more really good chance.
And it looked like they wanted to connect with Kjorholtz there. They're trying to set him free on a run from the edge of the box into that near post. It looks similar to what Nashville SC likes to do with a guy like Yonder Cadiz or Walker Zimmerman. If you're an MLS fan, as we certainly are, part of the broadcast crew there. But once again, it was just good positioning by Byrne and by Lipscomb.
Golden with an acre to explore. Oh, what a wonderful ball that was towards Smith, dividing two defenders. And it wobbles its way over the inline. And we had the perfect view of it. Right as he was winding up, the question was, where is he going with this ball and why so soon? And the second it left his foot, we knew exactly why.
Yeah, remind me again why Golden is the ASUN preseason defensive player of the year. Oh, yeah, because a vision like that moving forward. And even Smith, I think, was a bit taken aback, a step slow to it. I don't know that he expected, or that many of us would expect, such a precise ball to be delivered right to his foot. If he had kept running, instead of halting even for a moment, he would have been in on goal.
Does he want the same ball here?
Why not, man?
The answer is no. Instead, it's Wood who's unlocked the right side. Back across towards Byrne. Was Wood onside? Yes, he was. And he takes it to the corner. What's the call? Now the flag was up.
Now the flag was up, yeah, on that second touch. As Wood, I think, knew it and was just going to try to milk whatever he could before the assistant referee raised the flag. You just love the combination play that Lipscomb has employed along the flanks today. It started on the left side a good bit, and then as the day has worn on, it's been over here on this near flank.
Here's Smith, isolating his defender. Smith, it's still Smith. The curling effort. Well, he took on the defender, everything but the finish.
The raw skill there from the freshman from Nottingham who could not have started his college career better. 2 goals and 2 assists in his first 3 games. Still looking for goal involvement since then. He's been on the doorstep, and you just get the feeling he is due. If he can break through the mini slump that he is in, if you can even call it that, a freshman starting up top for a team that's contending for a conference championship.
Now, can the Bears finally break the door down on a long throw? We'll opt a different route. Abasso, his cross, flicked along. Sibley off his line. It's got to get there and does.
Sibley's been smooth today.
Sure has. If you were picking a man of the match, he would be it. Penalty save, an assist, and then really was one of the main authors in Lipscomb's second goal as well.
Yeah, he just is he's not a flashy player, but he's such a smart player. He's cerebral and positions himself well and has such such a firm, logical grasp of the game. And I've talked about it, but saving that penalty and then launching an attack right afterward, just awesome.
Here's Byrne, poked along for Smith. Try to return to Byrne. And now UCA a chance here with under 5 minutes to go. Kjorholt has lingered in the attacking area and he has stayed on side. Kimishima making a long busting run. And the clearance finalized by Turner.
And credit Priest tracking all the way back across the pitch, going box to box to make sure he got in the way of that cross to Kimishima.
And the Bears really starting to take their chances, leaving just 2 defenders back. And Kjorholt has gotten quite the arm workout this afternoon. Throw in after throw in. Another long one coming. And again, he's had a hard time clearing Noah Golden. He's able to read the ball coming off the palms of Kjorholt. Does concede the corner kick though as the wind picks up at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex.
And it needs to be said, this one doesn't feel secure yet for Lipscomb. Central Arkansas has enough big bodies to steal an equalizer.
Corner whipped in, Kjorholt leaping and could not turn it down on frame. Plenty of fight in the Norwegian. At times he has willed his team forward.
And that may have been the moment. He was there in position and just couldn't nod that ball down on frame, but he has been the player of the half at least for Central Arkansas in the captain role, filling in for Alberto Suarez, who left in the first half. He's been very assertive, but just hasn't quite found the final touch.
Smith is in on goal, and Smith fires well over. Well, he finally got the chance he wanted. He had worked all game for it. The eyes got big, and his shot well over the crossbar.
Striker special. He had it set up on a tee to him, and for just a moment, he looked like a freshman. He hasn't for much of the year, but there he did.
There's a feeling that there's going to be another goal in this one. Who it's going to come from, who knows? Smith is offside. I know there's just 2 minutes left, but this game wide open as UCA searching for the equalizer.
Every vertical channel is there for Lipscomb when they break the other way. There's just nobody back. They just can't get too invested in that here in the final 90 seconds and forget that they've got a game to defend.
Throw into the Bisons in precious seconds with it. Kimishima has won the ball back. And expert defending from Golden. Boy, Kimishima's got a motor. Does not quit.
He's a catalyst for this team. He will, I'm sure on the bus ride home, they'll regret the one moment in the sun he had. And stepping up not very confidently for his penalty kick that was saved, that eventually, or not so eventually, led to Lipscomb's go-ahead goal.
Well, now it's everybody forward for Central Arkansas and everybody back for Lipscomb. Zach Schwall, the goalkeeper, has rushed into the area. And a long throw coming from Kjorholt. Sibley catches. The goal is open. The Bisons had 2 players up with Schwall retreating. And Sibley, with just seconds remaining, must merely get this ball high and away. And the Bisons on the verge. Kjorholt is offside, and that'll do it from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. The Bisons gather their 5th win of the year. Pushed to the brink by Central Arkansas. A moment of 20 seconds of magic. A save from Michael Sibley on a penalty, and then quickly on the other end, The game-winning goal slotted home by Ryan Doherty. It'll be a sequence that Central Arkansas will rue on the 6-hour bus ride home, and one that Lipscomb will enjoy in their film session tomorrow. Wes, your final thoughts as it's the final 2 for Lipscomb and 1 for Central Arkansas on a gorgeous, sunny Tuesday afternoon.
It's an entirely deserved result. Lipscomb was the better team today, and yet this game never really, truly felt like it was in Lipscomb's grasp until the final horn sounded. And this is exactly the confidence boost the Bisons want, as they have one more match going to a tough Coastal Carolina team on the weekend before finishing up conference play. And that's what this is all about, putting this team in a position to peak at the climax of the season with games against Bellarmine and Liberty to close the campaign out and then go into conference tournament play. They took care of business today, and I think they planted some seeds of confidence they hope they can cultivate and will grow as the season comes to its conclusion.
Enjoyed it, partner. Good luck on the rush hour traffic home.
And you too, sir.
That's Wes Bowling. I'm John Freeman saying so long from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Bisons take care of business today against Central Arkansas. 2-1. Lipscomb wins it. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us.